just for like 5 minutes, sub on the channel. Just go to the one video ahead of this. If you want to see from the gameplay, we'll do that here now. Yeah, I don't expect if randomly someone does come into this unregistered channel because of a connection to PS4 or something and has any questions, I will do my best to answer them. Otherwise, you can leave them in the comment section on the rebroadcast if it allows me to do one on YouTube. And that's about it. I'm just gonna rip through this, and you're gonna see how poorly I play, and you're gonna see it on the easiest of levels. I think that it's not in here, right? Like somewhere in here, I think it's when I start the new game. It allows me to make my selections in terms of ease of use, and I'm just gonna set it on the easiest level possible. And if I somehow breeze through that and rip through to the end of the game, then I may choose to test out a tougher level, but we'll see. So that part's not really determined. The rest of it is kind of determined because I have done this before, just not to completion on the console version with these 2 extra DLCs that came with this version. So that's gonna be it for me for right now on the mic, but we're gonna have lots of content coming up right now, so strap in.
those people who established dynasties so powerful that their names echo through the centuries? I'm one of them. New world, new opportunities, no limits. This island of mine could become anything. It could be a farmer's heaven, the fields reaching the horizon, and the markets full of people. Or it could be a production powerhouse, with chimneys reaching the sky, and docks busy with all sorts of exotic goods. Or it could be the paradise on earth, a magnet for travelers from all over the world, a place for fiesta and fun.
Sir, we're docking the ship, sir.
For now, he's just a dirt-poor piece of land in the middle of the ocean. Let's make it shine. Ah, the Caribbean, a lush and untamed land. My new home. Beautiful and full of promise. A new beginning, far from the politics of the old world. A chance to start fresh and do things my way. I'm tired of the musty weather and rigid thinking back home. I need a change. I was appointed governor of this island. Not that anyone else wanted the job anyway. My unique approach to government will make this colony the most prosperous in the Caribbean. How hard can it be? You just need some planks, a few nails, and a trusty advisor to shout at.
Welcome to the Caribbean, Governor. Allow me to introduce myself, Lord Oaksworth, His Majesty's emissary to the region. Greetings, old chap. Have I got a deal for you today? As Crown Representative, I can offer your own trading license. His Majesty needs money to build a new underwater palace. He wants you to begin growing money. I mean, one of those crops that make heaps of cash. His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this letter of commendation for your achievements in the name of the Empire.
Technological progress is the path to autonomy, Governor. We need more scientists to think important thoughts and discover new stuff.
We are the shadows that move the world. We rule in secret. We are the salvation of mankind. We are the order, and you will be one of us.
His Majesty has commissioned the finest architects to design his new underwater home. We need your cash crops to pay for them.
Being able to stand on your own is a virtue I personally cherish. Self-sufficiency should be every country's goal. I understand you are still struggling with trivial things like money. I will aid you this time, but... The burden of ruling twists our perception of humanity. To us, people are just a resource that has to be managed properly.
I say, being a crown colony is a kind of competition, one you are losing, old chap. The colonies of Puerto Coco and Isla Rojo are beating you badly.
I see the houses are ready. Unfortunately, the islands of Puerto Coco and Isla Rojo have kidnapped the managers intended for you.
Did you know that there are treasures buried on our island? We should investigate.
The king is very angry with you right now, old chap. It will be no easy matter to placate him, unless, of course, money is involved.
Thanks to your efforts, the revolutionary movement is growing stronger.
Our research team, that is to say me, discovered the shovel 40 times. If I find out who put it there, I will kill him. Anyway, I gave it to the miners so they can put it somewhere safe, like underground.
His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this letter of commendation for your achievements in the name of the Empire.
Greetings. Great news! While searching through the crates of colony supplies, we found a sickle. Now we have something that goes perfectly with our hammers. This will boost production sky high. I can almost see the glorious future.
Things do not look well for you, old chap. His Majesty is extremely displeased with you, and has decided to punish you as an example to the other colonies.
Your family's rather rollicking love life has led to an unexpected pregnancy. As the heir was born, all animals became quiet. A light shone through the skies, and La Chupacabra herself went to the crib and bowed to the infant. At least, that is what we will write in the history books. Someone stole my manuscript and published it under a pseudonym. It was an autobiographical story about two men on a mountain who want to form deep male.
In a flash of brilliance, His Royal Majesty figured out how to fix all of your island's problems through the construction of a single building.
Looks like the buried treasures I was told about were actually natural treasures. Still, any kind of treasure is better than no treasure.
We just discovered the number of times you need to get hit by a plank to actually discover something. It is around 7, depending on the plank in question. We call this the Planck constant. I am sure it will become very important one day.
Our miner stumbled upon an oddly shaped ore nugget. Do you know, if you squint your eyes and tilt your head slightly to the right, it almost looks like...
His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this letter of commendation for your achievements in the name of the Empire. My good fellow, I have it from a very reliable source that there be gold in them there hills, boy. I suggest you send some men to find it.
I sat with 3 other members of the research team. Suddenly, it dawned on us. We're 4 men. You get it? 4 men? Incidentally, we also discovered bad puns.
My good fellow, I have it from a very reliable... His Majesty's plans have been hindered by supply shortages. To offset these setbacks, the Crown demands additional resources from the colonies. I am afraid that your colony is still doing rather poorly compared to your neighbors, Puerto Coco and Isla Rojo. His Majesty is not pleased.
When do we charge?
Our wise king, long live his name, has decreed that you are to be the subject of a royal intervention.
Awaiting orders. A soldier's duty is never done.
Great news! We found out how to use the muskets the Crown sent us. Apparently, all you have to do is pull the trigger. Our research was seriously hindered until we discovered you should not look into the barrel when pulling the trigger. We lost a lot of good men that way.
I've come to dislike mining. It is a messy process that pollutes our beautiful island. However, the revolution demands sacrifices, even from Mother Earth.
Surrender and live.
A soldier's duty is never done. We're coming for you. When do we charge? Awaiting orders.
Alright, so spoiler alert, unless this is one of those weird ones where they just constantly attack and aren't able to take it down. It's gonna be a del. It's gonna be an L. Oh, hold on. Somebody just decided to start fighting. What's in there? I guess this is because we conscription. Maybe they will be able to fight this off. That'd be pretty sweet if they did. Unfortunately, they're not gonna be able to find a gold deposit while they're fighting. They could potentially export cocoa. But, yeah, generally, like, for those that don't know, like in here, the guard tower, you can't, I thought it's supposed to tell you, okay, so yeah, no, it doesn't say, it's supposed to tell you in there somewhere that, like, they can't build it when there's an attack going on or a coup. What the hell just happened there? So just the save, or was a weird ass time to choose a save. So generally, see how these guys are doing.
We will fight you in the streets and on the beaches.
Yeah, they're
Awaiting orders.
pretty much destroying us. So what will normally happen is they'll just, when they stop shooting at my infantry, they'll start shooting at the castle, and they'll eventually be able to knock it down, because there's no military buildings, there's no military people other than this infantry. There's nothing protecting the capital, and these guys are like the top guys from wherever back home is supposed to be. 18 citizens did just arrive though, which would be a good sign. Popularity did not immediately increase, maybe that'll be next month. I tried something different this time though.
Presidente, after suffering 1,000 paper cuts, we have invented paper. It has print on it, where there will be a summary of important affairs, interviews with important Tropicans, and a page with political editorials. This will give a voice to every Tropican. Also, going to the little Presidente's room will be much more comfortable from now on.
So, yeah, I tried something different that I don't think I've ever done before, especially not in the first level, and maybe it was prone to suggestion there. It's that, you know, when they're telling you like the different things that you can do, I don't really have much of an interest in any of the three that they highlight, which is one being basically like a worker's paradise, building off of the raw materials / resources of the island, although clearly this island is much better suited for that than the other one that you can choose from. And spoiler alert for people that watch the next one that I'll do probably tomorrow after I die here, is that you, after you complete this mission, which you really just need to get to 15k money, completes the mission, I believe. Hold on one second.
I've come to dislike mining.
His Majesty's... My good...
Being able to stand on your own is a virtue
No,
I personally
okay, so
cherish. We are the shadows that move the world.
That just, yeah, I was like, no, you have to declare independence. That's why I was going for that. Yeah, no, 15k just makes them bring more people to the island, supposedly. So I tried something a bit different this time. And as I said, I don't have really interest in any of the three things that they talk about, or campaign aspects, in which they ask you, strongly suggest that you go that route, as far as like the third one being a basically tropical paradise in which people will come as tourists. So there are at least one significant tourist mission / campaign, whatever you want to call it. Technically they consider the campaign the overall thing, and then in each one I think they maybe call them scenarios. I don't remember at this point. But one of those for sure, and I think more than one, is about tourism. So you kind of have to do that. And again, spoiler alert, like as I said, you keep kind of switching back and forth between this island and the next island. So you do this island for this mission, and then if you complete it, you do the next island for the next one. But then the third one, you come back here, and all this stuff that I've already built here has already been built. And the settings are the same for the most part in terms of how much the people hate me, how little money we have, how many citizens we have, the composition of those citizens, which factors into how much they hate me and that sort of stuff. So you have to keep kind of bouncing back and forth between the two. And so I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, that's the thing. And then, so the tourism thing is just a mandate. So it's not, and also almost all of the tourism stuff is stuff that gets unlocked in later things. So it wouldn't, from having played the game, I know that it's practically futile. It's basically pointless to try to like have the very first scenario be a touristy thing, even if it would be potentially setting this island up better for tourism. But huge spoiler alert, if we could get over to it. Where the hell is it? It's over here. Man, this goes to show you how long it's been since I played. Why does this seem different? I'm thinking of the other island. I don't think I am. Maybe the other island has stuff too, or else it's just I'm so zoomed out that it's like you can't tell that there's actually a pretty significant amount of area in here. So you can have your entire tourist, basically Disneyland crap, all the way over there. And you can have your base where your actual people and all that stuff work over here. And then the issue obviously is getting workers over here, and so you just kind of building your infrastructure and your roads, and along the way you build homes and you build Teamsters offices and construction offices and that sort of stuff to get it over there. And then obviously the other key early on, when you can, if it allows you to, is to be able to put docks in here, and then late stages you can just even put an airport in, so that helps. But yeah, so the tourist thing you do anyways, so there's no point really in focusing on it. Although, as I said, I mean, if you put a bunch of touristy stuff in this area, I guess it could kind of play to your advantage later on down the road. It doesn't seem like a very good end game scenario. It seems like maybe a good idea generally for your colony, and it can help you satisfy a couple of requirements down the road, but that's about it. And then the second thing is one that I probably have tended to do more often, which is like the factory stuff. So as of right now, I could do, I don't think I have the money to do it, but yeah, so it's not really telling you. Yeah, so like I could do a lumber mill. I can't do textile or steel or cannery or furniture or pharmaceutical or fashion, but I could do a creamery or I could do a lumber mill. Those are the industry goods that you could do. Luxury goods, even a cigar factory is World Wars, as is rum, as is jewelry. Cold War's vehicle, chocolate is modern, and electronics is modern. So, I mean, as you can see, the industry stuff, you can't really do a ton, at least until you declare independence and engage in the World Wars portion of it, which typically happens by this point. I mean, it can be difficult to get up to 50% happiness from your people, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I definitely cleared this first mission way before I jumped on the mic here, many times in the past. So this time around, of those 3 suggestions, the first one they give you, I think I mentioned real briefly, is like live off the land and do raw resources, and knowing that you can't really do too much in terms of the industry and the production at least, until you declare independence, I figured, okay, screw it. There's enough open land. I'll do a bunch of plantations. I know from experience that generally there's not much of a need to have a variety in terms of your ranches, but I probably didn't build enough ranches since I basically just have one, and then I'm starting to build this second one here. Is it built? Yeah, for llamas. Isn't even making any money. Lifetime profit of $600. It's not exactly helpful when we're down 13K, but it's also not. It's better than not doing it, I suppose. Since that is supposed to be actual profit, like net profit, not gross. Anyway, yeah, I probably should have done more ranches, but I just was like, I had trouble building stuff, and I think that speaks more to the fact that I thought, okay, well, this time I'm just going to kind of go all in, as I did in the tutorial. If you watched that previous video, when I did declare independence in the tutorial, I opted to align myself with the Axis powers as opposed to the Allies. I've done that a couple times. I've also done it where late stages in the game, you can actually switch. So no matter what you had before, you can change it. It doesn't come without a cost, but you can do that. And so I've been allied with the Axis powers. I've also tried to remain mostly neutral with both of them. I've even had times during the World War phase where there's just those two, which I'm going to stop saying spoiler alert at this point, but later stages there's like 6 different countries that get involved, specifically just for their countries, as opposed to like world powers like Axis and Allies. And so you can actually have an embassy for each one of those, and at this point you can have an embassy for Axis and Allies once you declare independence, and then the next stage you can have an embassy for all 6 of those powers. And from my personal experience, it can be helpful to try to do to remain mostly neutral, just as far as at least like trade, and the fact that most that you can remain slightly neutral or slightly positive with will still send you foreign aid, even if like China and the US will send you foreign aid in the same year. Generally, you're not going to get a ton from both at the same time because they have very differing interests, the same way that the Axis powers and the Allied powers have very differing interests. However, at this stage, once you declare independence, even if you don't have an embassy for both, you have to have an embassy to invite at least one there. So whichever one you choose, you can still have trade with the other one. And if it's profitable trade, it makes sense from an economic standpoint, go ahead and do it. From a political standpoint, it's obviously a concern because it brings down relations with the power that you, I don't want to say allied with, but aligned with. It's not much better. Because they obviously are fighting with them and they don't really want you to be doing that, but you do it if it makes financial sense. You just have to, over time, realize whether it's making enough financial sense, because almost invariably, again, unless you're keeping it like mostly neutral, slightly positive to the one that you're aligned with, and not doing too much crazy stuff with trade with the other power, you're generally not going to get a ton of financial aid from the one that you're aligned with. If you're doing kind of anything that's against their wishes, and that's not just trading directly with the enemy, it's also, doing the things that you would assume historically would have been in favor of the Axis powers versus the Allied powers at that time, and that carries on into later areas where it's different countries that are doing that as well. So long story short, I opted to put up a bunch of these plantations, and then if you were watching, you noticed like I clicked on logging camps, noticed that they were making what appeared to be a ton of money. Like, how much has this one made so far? Okay, that doesn't seem like that much. Maybe output has been going down at this point. So 147 bucks a month, profit 7K lifetime. Yeah, that one's only 4. Where's the one? No. Yeah, so like 7K there too. So a fair amount when you compare that to like, you know, tobacco, which is obviously profitable. At the moment, its monthly profit's actually negative, but it's made 3,400. I'm actually kind of surprised by that. Seems like a high number. And again, like 2K for pineapple, less than that for bananas, less than that for coffee. Cocoa is high, but that's more to do with specifics here. Sugar seems higher, in my opinion, just because it's been around longer. This game doesn't want to get you into too much of the minutia to like have to point out, say, like how long that's been. Because as you can see, the monthly profit is only 66 bucks, and you compare that to, say, pineapple, which is also really terrible. Its profit is 94, so it's actually making more money than sugar. But when you look at lifetime profit, it's quite higher. The sugar output is 3K. The pineapple's output is almost 2K. So I don't know, maybe they're just better able to get pineapples out faster, and also sugar might be more required for local consumption. Corn, same deal, but has made money as well. So point being is, like, I guess the plantations have been doing fine, and maybe I should focus more on them when I do this again in the future. However, I felt like there were way too many trees there that were just going to get demolished if I placed things down, and so I wanted to effectively deforest the area as much as possible, because I know it's very profitable to do so. But I probably should have gone like full bore with it. If I wanted to do that, I probably should have just built like almost exclusively logging camps. Just built until my funds ran out. And then you didn't see it here, but this one I guess probably won't get there that quickly. But once it runs out of trees in its area, it has a exclamation point or whatever above it. I think it's one of the jagged exclamation point thingies or whatever, saying effectively like this thing's been shut down. It's not doing anything anymore. There's no more output because there aren't any more trees in the area. So I probably should have done that. I probably should have focused just exclusively on that and just said screw it as far as the plantations go. But I kind of wanted to test it out because I haven't really done that before with the plantations. And the main thing that I did is I tried to get as close as I could to having enough places for people to live. I guess it's just because more people keep coming, and I mean, there's only been 12 total births. There's also been only 18 immigration and 7 deaths, so it doesn't make much sense as to why are these people homeless. But anyway, it's higher than it was, not by a ton if you look at the chart, but it's also just slightly skewed because it went almost as high as 60, so it's tough to see when it got down really low. I could have sworn I paused it at one point and saw that there was like only one citizen total. Yeah, as you can see on the screen there. We might have even gotten it down to 0, which is not a real thing in real life. There's no such thing as full unemployment. And actually, you could see here, like, there's 24 that are not in the labor force, and in this case, it looks like it's just going to be kids. But later on, as you progress, it could be retirees as well as a weird form of like people have chosen to not be in the labor force. Either way, there's 19 open jobs. Huh. Alright, so 19 open jobs and 7 unemployed people who are illiterate or have gone to grade school. So I'm not really sure what the issue is there. Maybe they don't live close enough to it. I don't know. Let's figure that out, I guess. But yeah, point being, like, I tried to eliminate as close as I could homelessness, or at least try to increase the housing happiness. As you can see, I didn't do very well on that. I mean, these things mostly need to be above 50% to get the overall happiness above 50%, because healthcare you can't do anything about in this area. This before you declare independence. Entertainment, you can build taverns, and that's it, and that impacts crime and liberty and a couple other things. The religious people don't get very happy with you. The only religious building that you can build is the cathedral, which I thought I was building that. I guess not. Either way, yeah, point being, I was just trying to see like how much I could do as far as happiness, like how quickly I could boost that up. I was making choices with the revolutionaries, as well as basically sticking it to the royals, not just the royalists, but the actual people in the crown, with the crown relations. Choosing to do all my trade with smugglers and pirates, which they're not happy about, and then doing basically anything that the revolutionaries asked me to, or the order, and long term, those are things that the crown is not happy about. So I tried that, didn't work. I'm gonna let this play out. I'm gonna get off the mic and stop babbling, because it probably feels like it's been like a half an hour, but we're nowhere near any of these really, except for potentially exporting cocoa. So let's see if these current
Viva el Presidente!
4 elite infantry that are left can handle.
We will fight you in the streets, and you fight like wussies. Your right to rule
luckily they're
expired.
I'd give my life if need be.
Now see, they got more health, so there's a chance. We got a slim chance here, but I'm not feeling optimistic, and I'm also feeling very tired. So I'm gonna probably call it a night soon, anyways. But I'm gonna stop talking and we'll let this play out. And I'm not gonna like do a save or whatever. Just like hope that it works. They die, they die. They're not real people. It's fine. If they destroy the thing, you just restart, and we'll do that tomorrow. Either way, I'll finish this tomorrow. This mission, because even if they survive and repel the rebellion, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere close to 50% and declaring independence anytime soon, especially not within a year and 7 months. So, it is what it is. I'm jumping off the mic. Peace out.
would you?
Is that all you got? We will fight you in the streets and on the beaches.
Disaster. The revolutionaries are demanding that you insult the king. It has been decided that an insulting letter is the best way to get our point across.
The king says he wants your expletive hung in the palace courtroom as a conversation piece. Things do not look well for you, old chap. His Majesty is extremely displeased with you and has decided to punish you as an example to the other colonies. Things do not look well for you, old chap. His Majesty is extremely displeased with you and has decided to punish you as an example to the other colonies.
A devilish combination of the global economy, the Illuminati, bad weather, and just plain rotten luck made you lose. Please leave your beard and your hat on your desk on your way out.
Yes, as I said, that's it. If you, if you're more accustomed to playing kind of more true war games, even just like mobile, very basic graphic war games, you might find it odd that like during those fights, it was indicating the health levels, which is not exactly the same thing as HP, which is considered, in that case, for people, it's considered health points. But it didn't give you a sense of the HP or the hit points on the building. They were only going after one building in this example because we didn't get the guard towers up in time. And that was the, pardon me, the capital or whatever the hell they call it. And so the thing is, like, you never really know if and when it's going to go down. Like how much it's got left to go before it goes. But obviously when you're in a situation like that and you've got two royal infantries attacking and you've got nobody defending, even though you did conscription and everyone on the island is supposed to join in the fight if there's anybody that comes to attack, which I have to imagine is how we got that second wave of defenders, but I'm not really sure why we didn't get any more after that. I don't usually tend to go that route. I don't like it for endgame, and you can change it later, so that's part of the reason why I did that. But yeah, clearly that didn't work, and you don't know when it's going to go down, and that's why I said when I was looking at each individual's group's health points, even though there were less of them on our side, they had more health than the other side. And so even if they were to lose, which they did, I thought maybe there was a chance that a third set of defenders would come up in time to be able to save the thing. I've also had other times where it's not usually when they're attacking the castle, but like they'll come and attack a guard tower or two, or if you've got like 3 or 4 like right out in the outside of the island, and they'll destroy that, and that's like it's like your warning, and then they leave. That clearly wasn't going to happen in this case, but I was thinking there's at least a chance. Clearly didn't work. We'll go with a different strategy tomorrow. If anybody's watching this wants to leave comments for me to see as notifications prior to me doing this tomorrow, happy to take those on. If you're like pro Tropico 5, like not meaning like in favor of, but like you're like professional or some nonsense, you can comment, but like I'm not looking for that. I don't care what GTO is in this. It's not really what I'm like doing here. It's just exploratory. I've beat the game before. I just felt like having a little bit of fun. So that's all this really is. And so as of now, and I don't know, but as of now, when I do this tomorrow, I'll probably try to do as much of a change to the to the process and the strategy as I can, if I even remember what I did this time. But I'm not looking to be like, okay, here's optimal, here's what you always do from start to finish, and it's really important, that you do that in this first one, because that's going to have an impact on, the 42nd mission, which will be back at this island as well. It's just I don't feel like doing that. That doesn't interest me at all. And it can in other games, but not in this one. This is just a sandbox, have some fun sort of game. And there's a chance, I suppose, that tomorrow I may try to get a bit more into the minutia of the actual economy, and in terms of what's going in and what's going out, and how that plays a factor in the overall happiness of the people. But I just know, like, the one thing that I did do in this one, which was choose to only import to set up 2 docks after the first one, after I told the Crown to screw themselves and I bought my license from the Dutch and only had the one ship and the one dock and to build a second dock. I opted to only import and export the exact same items, and I'm fairly confident that I was not producing those on the island at all. So that is kind of a not really end game, but next level sort of strat for this game. And I understand that, but it's just like, that's the way I think about things, and it would be hard for me to see that as an option and like not take it, you know, and instead think like, okay, hey, what do I, you know, what do the inhabitants of my island need? And or I suppose if I was doing production like factories and stuff like that, what inputs are required for that I'm not really generating enough on my own that I'm willing to pay for outright as a you know a gross spend that is technically a net spend as well. And then on the flip side, if I did have a second ship, it would be potentially exporting some goods that I was producing on the island, simply because, you know, it was a fair enough price. It generated a profit for the island. So who knows? Maybe I will look to change that a little bit. But generally speaking, even if I have like early stages, early parts of the game, like 16 docks on this island running at one time. And even if they're I forget what they call it, with the dry dock and the dual dock, and you got two, you do two per dock. So whatever it is, like let's just say I can do like 20 ships, and I do the lighthouse thing, and I have it all set up so I can like do however many different trades with smugglers and pirates and all the rest of this crap. I do all that, like I can still most of the time try to set it up so that it's strictly just like the trades are almost exclusively what it was in this one, which is that I'm importing something at a lower than market price for whatever reason, and then exporting it for a slightly higher than market price for whatever reason. And the game is not terrible, but it's not the greatest either in terms of showing like, okay, this got brought in, now it's chilling on the dock, and then now that needs to get moved out. The thing that's, and this is what I'm gonna end that whole diatribe here, and then we'll finish up because I think there's nothing more to say really tonight. The thing that I'm not 100% on, but it seemed like has been the case for me in the past, is that when you can run 2 ships per dock, it helps to have both the import and the export of that same good technically being listed as a trade on that dock, even though it doesn't always seem as though a trade that's selected for a dock only occurs at that dock. But if it does, you know, it would stand to reason that it would make a bit of sense that the way that I was doing it, where I was like, whatever it was, like, I don't know if it was cotton, cocoa, whatever it was, like I was importing it on the one dock and then I was exporting it on the other dock. It's not that hard to understand that logistically speaking, literally, I mean that word literally in this case, that they should be, the teamsters should be taking the loads from the imported dock over to the export dock so that they can be exported and so that the island can make money. It didn't appear as though that was really happening at a rapid rate, so it is what it is. So we will make another decision there. Last thing I'll just show here, like in terms of loading game, yeah, I guess I did a I guess I went into the 7th year of a tutorial and saved it. I don't recall doing that, but I just beat the hell out of a tutorial once just to see how far I can go. And these are the ones where I guess I didn't Okay, well, now I'm starting to think that maybe I've never actually been able to declare independence. this first mission, because I only played this for like a week. It was a free copy at the time. Oh man, what time is it? It's late. Because if I would have passed it, I would have saved it. God, this sucks. This sucks being obsessive and compulsive. All right, I'm gonna play again because I have to. Because now this is basically telling me that I've never declared independence on the console version, and I can't imagine that the console version is that much tougher or whatever, but we're gonna find it. I'm gonna jump off the mic so I can stop friggin' talking. We're gonna jump into a new game here real quick and see where it goes. I don't want to spend more than an hour doing this right now because that was not fun. But let's go into it anyways.
You know those people. Ah, the Caribbean. A lush.
Welcome to the Caribbean, Governor. Greetings, old chap. Have I got... His Majesty needs money.
Okay, so this is why I should not be playing this late at night, because I'm pretty sure I haven't been using bad language to the best of my knowledge on this one, but I'm pretty sure I just completely fucking wasted $1,000, which is a lot in this first stage of the game, because I sent them to explore to the one that I think is the gold, but I don't remember honestly. And then I was like, all right, well, they're gonna ask me later to do the other mine, so I'm gonna send it there. That was just a really stupid thing that I did, and part of me was thinking, I hope they're not gonna just count this as the same thing and explore both, like not explore the first one and count them as 1,000 apiece, which is what they did. Again, personally, I'd prefer if the game, you know, did literally anything to kind of give you a heads up of like, hey, you sure you want to do that? Because you already have one out there and it's a waste of money, but the game wants you to be smarter than that. So we're going to restart, which kind of sucks because I definitely felt as though we got some good trade offers on this one. So we're going to restart again. And again, I'm not, the hour that I gave it from the beginning still holds. So 45 minutes or less, basically, to actually finish this thing. Peace.
Ah, the Caribbean.
Welcome to the Caribbean. Greetings, old. His Majesty needs money to...
technological progress.
His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this letter of commendation.
We are the shadows that move. Being able to stand on
His Majesty has commissioned...
The revolution needs the people's...
the burden of rule. I understand you are still struggling with trivial things like money. I will aid you this time.
I say, being a crown colony is a kind of competition, one you are losing over.
Our research team, that is to say me, this guy.
Awaiting orders.
Thanks to your efforts, the revolutionary movement is growing stronger.
Great news! While searching through the...
I see the houses are ready. Unfortunately, the islands of Puerto...
Presidente, as you know, it is your will alone that keeps Tropico together. Without you, the entire island would crumble to dust and be lost forever. As the heir was born, all animals became quiet. A light shone through the skies. Someone stole my manuscript and published.
The revolution dictates that all people are equal. Now, assign some of those equal people to give orders to the other equal people. Thanks to your efforts, the revolutionary movement is growing stronger.
Many people are ready to give their life for their ideals. You must be ready to take lives for yours.
His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this letter of commendation for your achievements in the name of the Empire.
Great news! We found out how...
My good fellow, I have it from a very reliable source that there be... They say a man's home is his castle, old chap. I would state that the reverse is also true. My castle is my home, or at least one of my homes. While His Majesty finds your island's backwardness most amusing, he is now worried that it will hinder his great plan. His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this letter of commendation for your...
I sat with 3 other members of the research team.
Thanks to your efforts, the revolutionary movement is growing stronger.
His Majesty personally inspected several reports from your colony and discovered a major oversight in your designs. His Royal Majesty has instructed me to present you with this letter of... I am afraid that your colony is still doing rather poorly compared to your neighbors, Puerto Coco.
just discovered the number of times you need...
Awaiting orders.
Construction of His Majesty's underwater palace has begun. The Crown requires a great many tons of your crops to help pay for this massive project. The people's support for the revolution is increasing, but there's still more we can do. You should address employment issues on the island.
War!
The sea is too crowded. It is full of lost cities, rich American industrialists, and sleeping alien gods. His Majesty has no desire to mingle with such things.
Thanks to your efforts, The revolutionary movement is growing.
We have invented red tape. It goes well with...
My good fellow, I have it from a very reliable source that there...
We are the shadows that move the world. We rule in secret. We are the salvation of mankind. We are the order, and you...
Presidente. Woo! I'm getting ahead of myself. Presidente. Woo!
His Majesty is most amused by your
Hola, Tropico!
Welcome, brother. Today, you and your family join the select few who have taken upon themselves the burden of governing the world.
At last, some recognition. I've always wanted to be part of a secret fraternity bent on world domination. Hey, they even got me appointed governor of a new island just to show what they can do. Now it is time for the hazing rituals, I guess. My new brethren want me to befriend the US president. The Order wants to spread its influence throughout the Americas, and I have been chosen to do it. Making friends with the Yankees is not my forte, but I'm sure I will master the skill in no time.
Welcome to your new island, my apprentice. The Order needs you to earn the US President's friendship. Your friend Penultimo could probably help. He knows how to get under a person's skin in no time.
Alright, so that's going to be it for tonight. Went almost like 15, almost 20 minutes longer than I said I was going to, but it's fine. I don't know if you could see on the rebroadcast as soon as I'm done and stop this, I'll go onto YouTube for people to be able to view. When it pops up with the PlayStation trophies that you've won, I'm pretty sure that gets blocked out on the broadcasts. But I actually don't know if it gets blocked out on the live broadcast. Not that it matters. Nobody in the room right now. But yeah. So I just wanted to make sure I finished that. It got a bit cheeky there. I was just forcing the issue. As I said before, assuming I can complete the second mission here, since apparently I've never completed the first one in the 1 week free that I had this 7 months ago or whatever. If I complete this here on Bao Bao, then I gotta do the next one back over on Cayo de Fortuna. And I think they give you at least one chance to like choose between the two. but I forget exactly what goes into that and why that is. And then I'm pretty sure that the first time I was given that choice, I probably completely chose wrong. But the thing is, if this does what the PC version did for me, when we go into the third mission and go back to the island we just came from, Cayo de Fortuna, basically the whole setup should still be the same. Like, we should still have that stupid winding road all the way out to the gold deposit, which will actually prove helpful eventually, because you can make a lot of money from gold. But I didn't really do it efficiently in terms of getting it out there and stuff like that. And then also, whatever, like, it seemed like the people were pretty happy. They got above 60%, which is pretty solid. Obviously, that it helps when you pay everyone the maximum salary, and you got a bunch of jobs for them to be able to have. We definitely did not come close to full. I don't know. We might have come close to full unemployment, but we didn't come close to full housing. Those are difficult things to do, and especially as you get, because you essentially have to have your base still going here, and then off on the side you got to go do the other stuff that, like, the base isn't gonna like. You got to go get the mines and pull the deposits out of those things, and there's pollution with those, and the people back at the base don't really care too much for the pollution, and yet when you look at the pollution map with all the reds, it's the fucking people in their homes that are the main cause of the pollution anyways. So it's true to life, so in that sense it's fine, but as far as gameplay, it gets kind of annoying. Yeah. And that speaks nothing to, like, the much further off down the road things where you can, like, have police blimps, you know, traversing the island to make sure there's no crazy shit going down, which obviously decreases at least liberty, if not happiness, as well. So that's one of the reasons why I guess I like the game for now. At least I used to like the game. We'll see how that goes. Which is that there are many things that you have to kind of take into account. And very briefly, when I was doing this version, I stopped at the economy page to kind of give a breakdown in terms of, you know, simple accounting, expenses. I don't know which came first, because technically incomes always come first. So, like, revenue minus expenses equals profit, and then some other stuff at the bottom that was like, okay, this doesn't really count as that, but we're gonna put it on the same page. And when I did that, the county were technically in the black, which is positive, but only because of all the money coming from the crown. So my experience has been in doing a bunch of these missions and sort of endgaming it, minus the DLC stuff. That situation is pretty common. That if you could be in, like, a sweet spot where you're not reliant upon the annual foreign aid to be able to keep you in the black, to keep you with positive, then that would be great. Now, much like a business or any other country that's a developing country that's looking to expand, it can make, and it does in this game, can make a ton of sense for you to go negative, to have a bunch more expenses than you do revenue, to sustain losses. But obviously, long term, that really only works and makes sense if you're making the correct sort of investments. You know, if you're doing kind of what I did the first time, which was just like, I don't know what these people want, I'm just gonna build a bunch of country homes I didn't change. Generally, I don't think I didn't change much of the finances of the individual buildings in terms of their what do they call it, the it's not the proper term in my opinion, but it's like the budget for the home, or the building. We just say building in general, because it's like obviously the budget for the palace compared to a military building, compared to a residence, compared to a plantation, compared to the docks, etc. Like all those things shouldn't be considered to be close enough to be anywhere near homogeneous, because they're not in real life as well as in the game. But they're kind of presented in a way in such that you think that maybe they are. And you just saw from what I just did, I don't want to give this as a bad example, it's just the first campaign, and if you mostly do what they say and then cheese it at the end, which is effectively what I did, you can get through it pretty easily. But yeah, just maxing out the budget on every single building is not ideal long term. And as that becomes your base and you go to expand into other things, like on that particular island, you saw, like I said, we got that winding road out to the gold deposit. There's other mines out there. There's also the two or three really close mines over to kind of the left side of the map as opposed to the far top right. Neither of those are gold though, unfortunately. One's iron and one's whatever, probably bauxite. And so yeah, like you go off and do all that sort of stuff, but it just becomes like that much more costly, and so therefore it's difficult to maintain your base when you go to do that expansion. And a lot of these things are time sensitive, generally speaking, so it's not even necessarily a thing that makes a ton of sense or makes it really easy for you to be able to say, okay, well, I'm just gonna like really flourish the base here, get it super high, get like some crazy sort of happiness levels of like 75% plus, and you know, basically self-sufficient, making money, not even reliant on foreign aid, but you know, still getting it. Like in this one, we're apparently gonna try to cozy up to the U.S. And yet, like, I don't know. I don't think that's optimal again. But who knows? In this very next one that we'll do tomorrow, maybe it will be. But again, if it plays the way the PC version did, anything we do on this island during this mission should still be there almost exactly the same when we come back to the island. And I'm just gonna give a spoiler alert: when you come back to this island the first time, which is the 4th mission, you get bombarded constantly with military attacks. So it's like you can't just build like a bunch of farms and have no protection whatsoever, because they do come at you and you get absolutely destroyed. So look forward to that tomorrow. With that, we will say peace out. Hope you enjoyed it. If anybody did actually watch this, feel free to leave a comment. I will at least get notification of the comments before potentially doing this again tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't plan on checking the channel. And yeah, and especially if I get bored and I feel like there's nobody watching, which is fine because it's not a real channel, then it just simply comes down to my own desire to play, and I may not even choose to broadcast at that point, because now it's like I'm talking and I just wasted about 10-15 minutes in talking that I would not have to do if this wasn't something that was about to get published onto YouTube. So as we publish to YouTube, peace out and have a good night.